Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Scyushi and we are back with some more Trove. And this video may age well, it might not. Basically, there's this certain store pack that's not currently available in any way, shape, or form in-game. In fact, it's not even available publicly on the website. However, people ended up, through I don't even know how, figuring out what the URL was on the Trove website to the location that you can buy this pack. So before we get started with today's video, I will say that there is a risk with this that I might get into trouble because this is technically not something that's public, but it is still technically public. So I don't know what'll end up happening. I might end up getting emailed and have to take this video down or something like that. Or best case scenario, the pack is just made available in game. And then everything that I'm saying right now is kind of irrelevant for those of you that might end up watching this video long after those changes may or may not take place. But I wanted to go into the history of the Hearty Party Pack 2. Just before we do, if you want to end up getting the pack yourself, just, check down below, okay? Just, come on, just do that. It's a $15 pack, 15 US, and it gets you a whole bunch of different things. I'm going to have a separate video that's going to talk about all of these individual items and what have you. But generally speaking, this video is going to be dedicated to talking about the history of this pack, because the interesting thing is that this pack actually does in fact have significant history to Trove. It's kind of the last legacy of the collector, like a collector edition pack of sorts, because this goes back to 2018, November 2018. That's when all of these items were technically added into the game's code, but these were made a lot earlier than that. So if you don't know the history of the Hearty Party pack, basically, these were packs that players could buy and a percentage of the sales would end up going towards a charity, right? And on top of that, you could also get involved with the creation of all of the items in the pack as well. In fact, all of these items were something that somebody at one way, shape, or time paid to get into the game. And as far as I remember, like my memory is a little bit vague, but it's a little hazy. But I think that a dragon cost you like $400 or $500 to get added into the game. And then basically what would happen is you would have communication with the dev back and forth of the type of item that you would want into the game. So somebody ended up telling them, I want this fire dragon, I want all this and stuff. And then, a lot of it was kind of left up to the developer's own creativity, but they could be as involved with the process or not. You could just be like, I just want a crow dragon, and that would be it, right? But the point is that you would end up doing these donations that would also go towards the charity while they were end up creating the items. And then they would end up double dipping by throwing these player paid items into the pack. Of course, the player who ended up paying for the items would end up seeing a bunch of codes added into their email or whatever. And the funny thing is, one very important person in our community over here in Team Pixel that unfortunately has kind of moved on from the community, but Merc, you guys remember all the, oh, hi, Merc, all of that stuff. Absolute baller, loved his sense of humor, miss him a lot, but he basically just got busy with real life stuff. Anyways, he paid to have a helmet of these added into the game. So I don't know whether or not, I don't know if Merc's watching. I want to send him a DM at some point. I don't know if any of these might end up actually being one of the items that he paid for all those years ago that only now just got into the game. Because the interesting thing is that these items were within the game's code since November 20th, 2018, as far as I know. But there was no way to obtain them. Now, I think somebody modded this dragon in or something. I don't know. I remember seeing this dragon, or maybe I ended up watching the developer stream where they were creating it or something. I don't know. But only recently were these items actually in game. And the funny thing is that devs kind of know that people are doing this, which is why I'm hoping I don't get in trouble for this video, because this dragon used to give power rank. it doesn't anymore. In fact, none of these items you'll notice give any mastery whatsoever. Now, weirdly enough, this dragon does give some passive stats, and arguably it's better stats than the new event dragon, so there's that. It's definitely a pay-to-win dragon where you end up just getting, a little more magic find. It's not like vital stats or anything like that. But you might notice, aside from the dragon, this Tomb Raiser costume. So this Tomb Raiser costume was pretty much my favorite Tomb Raiser costume that they ever showed us, and they showed us this during the Nintendo Switch launch trailer for the game. That's how old this costume is. So I don't know whether or not this costume was something that a player paid for back in the day, because I don't even think we ended up having all of the classes in the game when people were donating for the Hearty Party Pack 2, but I could be mistaken. It was a really long time ago, and I'm also very old. But yeah, suffice to say, they showed this costume in the Switch trailer, and everybody freaked out, myself included, because it was like, oh my God, that's awesome. We don't have a Balefire costume for the Tomb Raiser. I love it. It was something that, again, was in the game's code, so people ended up modding it into the game, but now it's officially here, and it actually even has like Fire V effects. Really, really dope costume overall. And then oddly enough, a freaking Barb costume as well. Like, I don't even know where this one ended up coming from. But again, the reason why this was just so cool to stumble across was because this is a huge part of Trove's history. This is kind of like the last items that were, if I'm not mistaken, created by someone that was still under Trion Worlds. Now we're under Game Ago, and they, for the most part, a lot of the content that we get in Trove is just recycled old content. And this is that as well. But for me, I don't know, like I feel a sort of significance around this pack being available, And even then, it's not technically available. Basically, this is something that was only discovered like 3 weeks ago or something like that. I don't know how. Don't ask me how people figured this crap out, because they basically just went to, they navigated to the Trove store website, right? And then through some mess around with the URL, they ended up discovering the URL for the Hearty Party Pack 2. Now, again, like I said earlier in the video, fingers crossed that this pack is just something that is supposed to be in the game, but maybe they're just waiting, right? Maybe they want to trick people into buying this Snake Dragon pack first, because nobody's buying it, right? Obviously, it's stupid. And then maybe after the event ends, sometime in late February, maybe they'll end up throwing this pack into the actual in-game store. But in the meantime, it's on the website. There is a method of grabbing it, and I don't think they're going to end up removing the items. I don't think that they can legally, because we spent money for this, unless, they would end up refunding everybody. And technically, again, I don't think that I'm breaking any rules by showing you guys this, and I don't think I can get in trouble for it, but I just wanted to be safer than sorry, and also have a video dedicated to the history of it so that I could ramble on about it rather than getting into it in the pack review video. And, I'll have links to all of that stuff and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, with all of that said, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this little brief trip down memory lane of sorts. I think it's really awesome that these are finally in the game, and, even if it's in a very unorthodox way. But I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I would appreciate if you would like, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff. You know how it all is. Buy the merch you want to support the channel. Have yourselves a wonderful day.